So the whole point of this readathon is that you pick a point in your bookshelf, any point at all, and then you just read from that point onwards. So these are my TBR shelves. So this shelf here is non-fiction, it goes up to here as well and a little bit there. Then these 3 shelves are fiction, mostly standalones, and then our bottom shelf down here is series. So I'm gonna pick 2 points. I'm gonna go from over here for non-fiction, and then for fiction I'm gonna go from here. So our first book, which is wedged in here, is gonna be Witchstruck by Victoria Lamb. So I've just read the blurb, and from what I can tell it's 1554 and a girl finds out that she has powers, but because of the time period that it's set in, she will be accused of being a witch. And then the first non-fiction I'm going to be reading is Coping with Birth Trauma and Postnatal Depression by Lucy Jolin, because I am a qualified birth and postnatal doula. So this is something that I want to know more about, and I'm going to be doing some courses this year in birth trauma, so felt like the right time to look at that. So I believe that this is my Books That Matter box for January, so I'm just going to open that up. So here's my box. Okay. Oh, something smells really good. So the first book that we have is Skin by E.M. Reapy. Would you travel the world to feel at home in your skin? Natalie is uncomfortable in herself. Her most recent relationship is long since over, and she is delusioned with her career as a teacher. Oh, I love this. So this is Break the Glass, an essay by Rachel Edwards. She explores the process of opening up about one's mental health and her own journey, exploring her family's history with mental health, stigma, and support systems. This essay is not only a touching personal memoir, but also reads as a supportive guide to navigating mental health struggles in the modern world. We have our bookmark that says, "You are the best thing." And then it's like peach speckles on the back. So we have some self-care prompts. Oh wow, they're absolutely gorgeous. And then there's all these different little cards. This little balm. We have a tea from Bird and Blend Tea. So this is a little pad that says recipes for self-love. Oh, it's a calendar. That's gorgeous. And then finally we have our book that sort of tells us what the theme is, which is You Are Your Best Thing, Prioritizing Self-Care, Diverse Voices in Wellness, and Recipes and Treats. And there's all sorts of amazing bits of information and all that sort of stuff in here as well. So that's January 2021 box. So here is everything that's in the box. The past couple of days I've been really focused on getting my essay done and submitted to the deadline. It's been stressing me out, but it's done now. But that did not stop me from absolutely tearing through Witchstruck by Victoria Lamb. I am so angry at myself that I let this sit on my shelf for like 4 or 5 years. And I will admit, this cover is awful. It looks like a really cringy historical romance, and it's not. There is romance in it, a little bit, but it's action-packed. It's about witches, and it's just so good. 5 out of 5 stars. It's my first 5-star read of the year, finally. Yeah, so I'm going to be picking out my next read. So I took Witchstruck from here. So the next book is More Than This by Patrick Ness. So let's see what this one is about. So we've got: a boy drowns, desperate and alone in his final moments. He dies. Then he wakes, naked and bruised and thirsty but alive. How can this be? And what is this strange deserted place? As he struggles to understand what is happening, the boy dares to hope. Might this not be the end? Might there be more to this life, or perhaps this afterlife? I am loving this book, and Patrick Ness is one of my favourite authors. However, do I wish that I'd read this during a pandemic? No. So I decided to give myself a little bit of a break from More Than This, because as I was saying yesterday, I think, the subject content is a bit hard to get through at the moment. So I took a day break and focused on getting through my non-fiction. So I managed to read 3 non-fiction books, which was great. So what I'm doing to get through this is I had 300 pages left and 3 days left. So I'm reading 100 pages a day. I read 100 pages yesterday. Now I've got 200 pages left, so I'll read 100 tonight and finish it tomorrow. It's 1:45 a.m. and I've reached the next 100-page mark. But I think I'm actually going to carry on, see how far I can get. So to wrap up, I read Bombed London by Hanslip Fletcher, which I gave 2.5 out of 5 stars. Croydon Between the Wars, which I gave 3.5 out of 5 stars. Croydon in the 1940s and 50s, which I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Hidden Agendas, an eye-opener by Peter Breuer, which I gave 1 out of 5 stars. This sucked. Just to clarify, I think lots of problematic things were said in this book, a lot of things that made me very, very angry. and I wouldn't recommend it.
We have More Than This by Patrick Ness, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars, despite having read it at the wrong time. And we have Witchstruck by Victoria Lamb, which I also gave 5 out of 5 stars. I have already ordered the sequel.
So these are the 6 books that I read during the Read Your Bookshelf readathon. So these 2 I read from my fiction section, obviously 2 quite long ones, so couldn't get much further. I think I could have squeezed in 1 more, but it might have taken away my enjoyment a little bit. And then I read 4 from my non-fiction shelf.